How y'all doing? It is Monday, July 25th. Christmas in July. Happy birthday, by the way, and belated happy anniversary. 2022 AD. Oh my gosh. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time right now here in Los Angeles. And I'm streaming on all platforms, I believe. Can you hear me, Odyssey? Press 1 if you can, 2 if you cannot hear me. We're going to have a fun Monday show, I think. I'm going to talk about the lame New York Post and I told you guys the RINO out Wall Street Journal stinks. And when I say stinks, I mean the other... Maybe I shouldn't say that. Sorry, kids. As in Marcus Jones stinks. There's a user called Marcus Jones stinks. He used to be called something else. Marcus Jones something else. But I didn't like saying it, so he changed his name for me. Nice. And I may talk a little bit about Monkeypox, this lame liberal pope. Oh my gosh. And there were a few trends on Twitter. Satanic Panic was trending on Twitter. And I hear that some say that it was a legitimate issue. Other people say, no, it was a distraction from real abuse, child abuse, victimizers. Evil everywhere. That is true. Evil everywhere. And did you hear about another January 6er committed suicide? I don't know if it was related to the actual January 6th thing. He did have some issues in his life. But I don't know. I don't know. And Reality Winner was also trending on Twitter. You know, the leaker, the anti-Trump leaker. I'm not sure where exactly she's coming from. Daughter of hippies. That has to be, is that a hippie name? Maybe that's not quite a hippie name. I don't know. All that and your calls if you would like to call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how y'all doing? I am fine, and I am wearing my Alpha 2020, which I got before 2020, I think. Get a Job t-shirt. I believe this is available in hoodie format now. Teespring.com/stores/get a job. And right now it's reflecting the light, but it's a nice orangey red here. Nice blue here, like a royal blue or faded royal blue, and a nice orangey yellow stars up here on this above the shield with a awesome eagle. And it says "Get a Job" underneath it. And this is a nice color too, in my opinion. I like the color. Sort of a tan, gray, brown color t-shirt. Right on. All the ladies are compliment me anytime I wear this t-shirt, by the way. So get yours. Get a Job, as Esoteric says, is amazing, as JLP says too. Very nice. And I'm not Get a Job, and I do have this sticker as well. Get a Job, also from the Teespring store. I think it's getajob.creator-spring.com. Let me see if that works. But, you know, there's all kinds of t-shirt options available. And it's funny, I was listening to Nick's stream over the weekend. You know Nick, host of Nick's stream. And he's all, you have many choices. Because he flies a plane A simulator plane? Yeah, get a job.creator-spring, creator-spring, TOR.com. And he's all, at the end of his show, he's all, you have many options for kind of like the, when you fly on an airplane, if you've ever flown on an airplane, they say, you have many options for with whom you fly or whatever. They say it. And we thank you for choosing Nick Stream. Very cool. Nick wants to be a pilot? No, he is a pilot. He is. Why is it stretched out though? No, I don't know if it's stretched out. It's just funny. But no, this is a good fit actually. It is. Maybe I need to grow into it a little. My goodness. Guys, happy Monday to you. Everybody loves Mondays. Do we not? We love Mondays. And we love black people too. And the lame New York Post on Friday and the lame Rhino outlet. I know some of you guys, is the Facebook crew here? Yes, shout out to the Facebook crew. Some of you guys like using Wall Street Journal. I don't really use it because I think they have like a paywall, and I don't like places that force you to do a paywall thing. But the lame Rhino outlet, establishment outlet, mainstream media, Wall Street Journal, put out a piece called "The President Who Stood Still on January 6th." And they're all mad. They're watching this propaganda about from the January 6th committee, which I mock pretty regularly, I think. I read a lot of CNN News, Commie Nonsense Network coverage of the January 6th committee it's an unselect committee, as Trump calls it. And they have however many Democrats, I call them demon rats, including Jamie Raskin, who's not a Christian. I think his son died. I forget how his son died. I'm not sure. Jamie Raskin. It's a guy. It's a guy. Not a Christian, though. And there are females on the Supreme Court. There's this black dude who's running the Supreme Court. No, not the Supreme Court. Oh, my gosh. The Supreme Court is almost as big of a joke, but not quite, as the January 6th committee. Oh, my goodness. Benny Thompson, who he used to endorse, or maybe to this day, has he ever repented for endorsing black insurrectionists or whatever they were? Benny Thompson, light-skinned black guy, fat, by the way, too. Representative Benny Thompson. What does he represent? Evil. And then there's this woman who also doesn't look Christian to me, and she's not. She's a Democrat. Can you be a Christian and Democrat? There was a Christian Democrat whom JLP interviewed on The Fallen State some years back. And she was running the show when she showed the outtakes. You remember I played those beautiful Trump outtakes? And he's all pounding the table or the podium and being like, yesterday is a hard word for me. And he says, I don't want to say that. And he's reading it. Do it over. Run it back. And I don't want to say the election is over. I don't want to say that. That's Trump saying that. And I already said you will pay. Why do I have to repeat this? Talking to when he's like condemning the violence January 6th, right? Because there was a little bit of lightweight violence, a little bit of moshing, a little bit of window breaking and barrier busting. Who knows who those people really were, though? Were they the ones who were caught? Some of them were caught. Some of them have skated. I don't know. Something like 800 people have been arrested, and something like 80 or so were put in jail. And many of those were are languishing in prison to this day. It's ridiculous. I'm going to get to that. But this phony January 6th committee, not giving out all of the information, by the way. There's even a Fox News guy, faux news, Brit Hume, based Brit Hume. Not quite based, but, he's kind of old school, a little bit. He has some honesty to him, I think. And he pointed out, Trump wanted to make sure that it was safe and secure, the protest, because he knew it was going to be a big one. But they didn't mention that in the January 6th committee. And he pointed out, even Brit Hume knows and has pointed out openly on Twitter that this committee is not for honesty, a fair analysis or showing a fair investigation. No, it's propaganda to smear Trump and Trump supporters. So evil. But apparently the failing New York Post, I call them the failing New York Post, and the failing RINO outlet Wall Street Journal ran pieces from their editorial boards, meaning they didn't put their names to it. Is there any way to find out the names of the people on this editorial board? Maybe there is. But to me, it seems cowardly. Put your name. Of course, with these days, people get threats and doxxed and all kinds of stuff. But you're putting out mess. Mess. The president who stood still on January 6th is the headline from a Wall Street Journal opinion editorial board. And I found this by way of the Huffington Post, which is a joke of an outlet. Even as the riot raged at the Capitol, Trump wouldn't tell his supporters to stop, as if they would hear him. Give me a break. I bet you it was so packed over there you hardly had signal. That's my guess. I don't know that for sure, but that's my speculation, that over at the Capitol, I know that some people, Hake just throws around the word based anywhere. Over at the Capitol, I know that there were some people streaming, right? Wasn't Elijah Schaffer, slightly offensive guy, emotional guy? I like him. I think he was streaming. At least he was recording and then putting out stuff. So maybe if you had like Verizon, or I don't know if Verizon's a good one, good carrier. But I don't know, if you're caught up in a protest, are you really going to be also like watching to see if Trump says, "Oh, stop"? I don't know. That's like saying Barack Obama should have told those people in the middle of the night, those rioters in the middle of the night who were, the Black Lives Matter rioters, whom he helped gin up alongside the mainstream media in collusion. Not exactly collusion, but somewhat of coordination, or like the corrupt culture of them. They like to promote outrage, and the blacks got outraged, and the Antifa types got outraged too, and destroyed different parts of the country and killed some people and all kinds of stuff. Did he say to stop? Trump said we have to have peace. And he's always been like that, so give me a break. No matter your views of the January 6th Special Committee, the facts it is laying out in hearings are sobering. The most horrifying to date came Thursday in the hearing on Trump's conduct as the riot raged and he sat watching TV posting inflammatory tweets. His tweets were not inflammatory. They were not inflammatory. That's stupid. And refusing to send help. Send help? What are you talking about? Refusing to send help. Trump didn't he want to go to the Capitol? Had he been at the Capitol, I wonder what might have happened. You know what I mean? He said, now let's go to the Capitol. And a bunch of you guys, any of you guys still watch Hake? Were like, he said, let's go to the Capitol, and then he didn't even go. Well, it turns out he tried to go. The Secret Service wouldn't let him. I'm the president. I'm the blanking president. And he grabbed the wheel, and he grabbed the clavicle area of the Secret Serviceman from the back seat of the 70-year-old man, from the back seat of the limousine. The Beast. It's called the Beast, the presidential limousine. He's like, I'm the president. Let's go to the Capitol. But no, they didn't let him. That's according to testimony. See, he would have controlled the crowd. He's very good at crowd control. Get him out of here. All of MAGA world was texting Chief of Staff Mark Meadows that Mr. Trump needed to call off his supporters. Give me a break. No, they weren't. So a few were. A few were like, ooh, this is bad. This looks bad. New York Post editorial board. Trump's silence on January 6th is damning. This sounds like you people who are all, oh, DeSantis is base. DeSantis is where it is. Or where it's at if you're ending your sentence in a preposition all incorrectly. You're on the side of these same people. Hearsay testimony. Is that even testimony? It's a good question. Yeah, I know. She heard somebody say that. That's true. As his followers storm the Capitol, reads this New York Post editorial board article, calling for his vice president to be hanged. Hang Mike Pence. Like 2 people were saying that maybe. Well, maybe more than 2. I don't know. I didn't really watch any of the videos, right? I did see them mulling around inside the Capitol building. I did hear that there were like 14,000 hours or something like that, or 1,400 hours of footage that they have not released, or did they release it? For 3 hours and 7 minutes, Trump sat in his private dining room watching TV, doing nothing. Give me a break. There's been much debate over whether Trump's rally speech January 6, 2021 constituted incitement. It's no debate. It was not incitement. It was political rhetoric. Anybody knows that. Anybody knows that. How about some truth about the actual incitement of phony Black Lives Matter by the whole culture kissing up to the blacks and kissing up to the fake idea of black victimhood? How about that? The actual damage to the country and destruction and tearing apart of the country that Trump stood against, by the way, even though he was kissing up to blacks and letting many blacks out of prison. And I've heard bad things that they're getting let out of prison like crazy. I've heard, and I don't know if that's true. I've not looked into it independently. But, you know, he has that First Step Act. And so I'm not for that. But even with that, I say that he's a better president than anybody in perhaps my lifetime. I don't know how good or bad Reagan was. I know that he did some things that caused some lasting damage, or went along with things that caused some lasting damage. The amnesty of, what was that, 84 or something like that? I know that he did not disband the education department, which he should have, although he meant to. And look at how bad the education department is, the Federal Department of Education. And same thing with Trump. I'm sure there's a lot of things that he did that may have lasting damage, or that his administration did. But also he did, and he stood for good things. And I heard that Reagan brought a lot of morality back, even though he had, divorced and remarried himself, like Trump had. But they were Christian-friendly, and perhaps even Christians themselves, I think. So, these phony people. It's up to the Justice Department to decide if this is a crime. No. No, New York Post. His refusal to stop the violence, maybe it's a crime. But if, hold on, what did they say? This thing jumps around. The failing New York Post has ads that pop and make the article jump around. It's ridiculous. You stink, New York Post. I'm sure some of you guys are okay. I assume. As a matter of principle, as a matter of character. And they italicize the word character. You know they're bad writers if they have to use italics to emphasize a word, because that's the mark I learned in school of a poor writer. That means that you are not able, it's a picky point, you are not able to use your words to create emphasis. You have to use italics as a matter of character. You don't know about character, New York Post editorial board. You guys post trash all the time, and your ads make the website jump around. Don't tell me about character. I know that Trump does a lot of ads too. Trump has proven himself unworthy to be this country's chief executive again. Lame. They're going hard, huh? The establishment. The establishment's going hard against Trump. Butch over there on Facebook says, Reagan was the first president I voted for. But Trump, even though he has a huge ego, according to Butch, and says some questionable things, according to Butch, has been the best president in my lifetime. Nice. Thank you, Butch. That's a nice endorsement. Yeah, you got him good on that one, Hake, says Kevin Howe. You talking about how like I'm bashing their use of italics to emphasize the word character. New York Post. They're basically like a wannabe Daily Mail. Makes me want to spit. You know how Daily Mail is like a trashy, sleazy, sloppy outlet? New York Post is on their way to being like that. New York Post. Shaking my head at this mess. But anyway, I heard, are they both owned by Rupert Murdoch? Rupert Murdoch, is he a good guy? Isn't he kind of old? He's 91 years old. Does he even know what's going on? I mean, there's some solid 91-year-olds, such as the great Sheriff Joe Arpaio, solid guy. Rupert Murdoch, I don't know. Is he even a Christian? I don't know. Let's see. Rupert Murdoch, Austria, something like that? Born in, Australia. I didn't know that. I heard that he's of English, Irish, and Scottish ancestry. Nice. That's cute. I shouldn't say that's cute. His grandfather was a Presbyterian minister, and that's before they went radical homosexual same-sex marriage friendly, right? Accepting. I think his sons or daughters or something like that are running the show now. So, say that it's owned by him, I don't know that he endorses this type of mess. I couldn't tell you. Rupert Murdoch, good guy, bad guy, medium. And then his children, I think, are lame liberals. Thumbs down on his sons, who I think are running the show. So that's the lame New York Post and lame Rhino outlet, Wall Street Journal. That's what I say. It's gross. Anyway, let me get to Jeremiah in Louisiana on the line. How you doing, Jeremiah?
What's going on?
Chilling.
I wanted to talk to you about if you agree with Jesse when he says that white people are in power and got all the money. You wouldn't agree with that, would you?
I don't know if Jesse actually said that. You're pushing buttons on your phone.
He said it.
Well, you don't tend to be like a witness that I tend to believe.
You can run. He said it plenty of times. He hasn't just said it one time. He said that plenty of times.
He says that we, the people, do have the power.
Oh, he said white man. He said we're mad because white people have the power and they have the money.
Who's mad?
He says black people are mad because white people have the power and the money.
Oh, in black people's minds, white people have the power and
money.
Right.
With the white, no. Yeah, no. He said this. He said, from his opinion, it was like because he said we're mad because white people have the power and they have the money.
But Jesse's not mad.
Whether he was being facetious or however you want to put it,
right.
Whatever. But I just want to know if you agreed with that statement. You don't agree with that?
I have no idea what he actually said or the context, so I can't really comment on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just killed my whole argument there because I was going to go into something else. But what happened to Steve, man?
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Oh, Steve, your buddy, man, the one that's on here with you that acts just like, or maybe even worse than you, for real. He might be even worse than you, Hank.
Oh, yeah. Why are you so nosy?
The one that used to do the super chats and stuff.
Why are you so nosy?
I'm just asking. I haven't seen him in a while. It's been,
He moved on.
You know, it's been Hassan, and I don't think Hassan is as good as
Steve. This is quote unquote Steve moved on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, good
You
luck
keep
to you.
on. You
Good
sound
luck
like
to
you're
you.
just waking up, but I appreciate the call. Take care, man. All right, bye. What a mess. I think he means Chris. Yes, we wish Chris well. He did move on. Doing fine. Yeah, Hassan's not trying to be like Chris, and Chris was not trying to be like Hassan. They're their own people. They are their own men. Very nice. Very, very nice. Don't you know, no respectable company or corporation or man gives out people's like personal business. So, or comments on, you'll frequently hear, "Oh, we do not comment on personnel matters," and that is actually a respectable position to take. Nice. Did you hear that monkeypox is a global health emergency according to the failing? No, not the failing. Are they failing? The evil UN's corrupt WHO, World Health Organization. I saw this headline over the weekend. Commie nonsense was all over it. It was trending on Twitter because Twitter is friendly like this. WHO declares monkeypox a global health emergency as cases surge. An emergency committee from the World Health Organization. World Health. What a creepy, gross name. Yes, leave Steve alone. They have named the monkeypox outbreak. Aren't they trying to change the name of monkeypox, by the way? Currently spreading in non-endemic countries, a public health emergency of international concern with over 16,000 cases found in 75 countries, 5 deaths. Rest in peace, dead of monkeypox people. In a statement, World Health Organization Director, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who is not a Christian. He is a communist, I've heard, or has communist past, socialist past anyway, which is not different. Globalist socialist type of a guy, kissing up to the women. He's this black guy from I forget where. Dr. Tedros said World Health Organization's assessment is that the risk of #monkeypox is moderate globally and in all regions, except in the European region where we assess the risk is high. Wow. Europe, where they're pushing that stuff against the Christians and against the men and against the children. It's so evil. You know, they're pushing the radical homosexual agenda, partying, doing drugs, being degenerate, so-called homosexual. And they outline the most at-risk groups. And even, I read it on Hake News, that even Commie Nonsense Network is saying it's mostly, what do they say? What did I say over here? Mostly, where is it? Oh my gosh, where is this? Oh, I mean, you heard it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. On Saturday, they declared the monkeypox outbreak a global public health emergency. The U.S. reporting, according to Commie Nonsense Network, more than 2,800 probable or confirmed monkeypox cases in 44 states and D.C. and Puerto Rico, according to the CDC. And D.C. and Puerto Rico, 2 very corrupt areas, by the way. Even some of the so-called conservative states have a lot of corruption inside of them. Their cities are corrupt. Their cities don't tend to be conservative, by the way. 2 of the cases have been identified in children, and those children were, according to a report that I heard on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, children in the what they said as men having sex with men, which that's not even possible, first of all. Sorry, kids, gross, but it's not even possible. And then 2, those aren't men. It's not sex, and they're not men. Adult males. I get it. Supposedly adults. Globally, 16,500 cases reported in 74 countries. An extraordinary event. Not an STD, not a sexually transmitted disease, but it spreads, according to commie nonsense, through skin-to-skin contact. And according to CNN, according to the writer of the morning update on commie nonsense, this virus has mostly been spreading among males in close contact with other males, as in so-called homos. Not good, though. What a mess, huh? According to Wales Online, UK outlet, the disease was first found in a monkey before later being identified in a child in the Democratic Republic of Congo. There are 2 Congo countries, right? Don't say that. Garver 531. I don't know if that's actually going to... Nothing is going to stop the degeneracy. Not even disease. In 1970, that was way back in 1970, Dr. Rosamund Lewis, technical lead for monkeypox at the WHO. So what's different now is that we're seeing cases in other countries that don't normally have monkeypox. Very unusual. We've had the occasional outbreak or a single case detected in a traveler from West Africa, but in fact, we've never seen an outbreak like this before. Whew, what a mess. Dr. Rosamund Lewis said, monkeypox causes a rash. You're caring for someone with the disease, you should take care of their skin and any symptoms such as pain and itchiness. There is a vaccine for people who have been in touch with someone who has that mess, has monkeypox. Spreads from close face-to-face, skin-to-skin contact. Maybe new ways that it is spreading in the current climate. She says, currently, men who have sex with men, which is a gross way of saying it, and it's not even accurate, being affected the most in the outbreak. Also, anyone who's been in contact with an infected person, family members, close friends. It does spread through close contact and in-person to person contact. It does mean that in the healthcare setting, a health worker who doesn't know what they're dealing with and may not have the right personal protective equipment, PPE, may inadvertently be exposed. Be sure that health workers, so-called health workers, more like sick workers, have the sick care workers, have the message that if they're seeing someone who has a rash, it's important to be aware the virus is newly spreading in different population groups. Anyone with, remember I had those hives? Somebody was like, monkeypox. No, I didn't get monkeypox from the sun. It's hives from both, I think, the sun and maybe also I was taking some antibiotics because they ground down my bone on my jaw around my tooth so that they could put a crown on my tooth so that they don't have to tear out the tooth or do a root canal or whatever. By the way, I have another appointment today. Going to the dentist. I think they're just cleaning my teeth. We'll see. What a mess. So many appointments. It's been more than 10 years, though. Got to make up for lost time, I guess. Anyone with a rash may also want to keep those close to them safe with protective equipment. And, you know, they're trying to, change how they portray it, because anytime they portray monkeypox, the stock images are these black people. You know, Africa is where it was. Similar with AIDS, by the way, I think. They show African kids or adults with, these crazy blistery things and bumps on their skin. Hives or HIV? No, man. The heck? Oh, my goodness. Don't show us, Hake. Yeah, I know. I did think of showing you guys way back then when I was going through the hives. When I had those hives. Crazy, huh? Yeah, so never touch anyone. Never touch anyone. I heard that there was a Corinthians passage or verse that says it's good for a man not to touch a woman. Isn't that interesting? So never touch anyone. And that's a hat tip to Decapolis, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. It became a t-shirt. Never touch anyone. And I think it might be fair advice. In general, you know. I'm going to talk about this lame liberal pope. But first, let me get to a super chat or two. You can super chat, guys. Over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report, Steve Absolution, or is it Steven Absolution, gave a super chat on Streamlabs and said, "Oh, what's up, bruh? Bruh? Good to see you, brother. Hassan doing great. Shout out to Hake-a-mania brothers." Nice. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, my Italian brother. If you are Italian, can you be a brother? I suppose so. Shout out to the Italians. We love Christopher Columbus. And Hassan says thank you. And by the way, thank you also to you guys over there supporting Hake Subscribe Star. I did post another recent post, and I did get some nice feedback. Somebody said, "Hey, you need more red meat in your diet." Because one of my earlier posts, I talked about my typical diet, meaning the food that I eat, in long detail. It was like a 30-minute video that I posted up there for supporters only. And if you support all the time through super chats or whatever, then send me an email or whatever, and I can send you that if you're interested. Because I don't want to be stingy, but I just wanted to do that because, Patreon kicked me off. So I thought, hey, let me go on Subscribestar and actually post some content. And so I posted new content on my Subscribestar for the first time in like over a month, just last week. Very cool. Any other super chats? Let's see here. Thank you, Mr. D's. I did see that. I appreciate the feedback last week. And, of course, a shout-out to Bibby. My goodness. You can call in 888-775-3773. But let me talk some mess about this Pope Francis. Is he going to resign soon? I've heard that he's wheelchair bound now, I've noticed. A shout out to Twitch, too. What's up, Frankie? Oh, my goodness. Can you release those videos on Twitch? Asks Frankie PLM. I'm your most loyal chatter on Twitch. And he's also talking mess about me. I shall consider your requests. I considered it. No. But thank you for asking. But this lame liberal pope, according to far left Twitter, he's going to Canada. This reminds me of Obama. Remember Obama? Anybody remember Obama? He went on after he got elected and took office. Allegedly got elected. He went on this so-called apology tour, apologizing for America. And he's like bowing to like the Japanese or whoever they were, bowing down to some of the Muslim leaders maybe, or one of them, I forget, shaking their hand, bowing way down. Ugh. That's what this Pope reminds me of. Am I wrong? Am I unfair? Pope Francis arrived in Canada yesterday, Sunday, on a pilgrimage of penance. See? Apology tour. I'm shaking my head. To apologize to indigenous populations, so-called indigenous populations. You know what I mean? That's the Canadian Indians. We called them American Indians down here. I did learn from one of my African-American history or something like that, black history. Over at Pasadena City College, he called them indigenous people. My professor, Mhunzi. I like that guy. So he called them indigenous people. That was my first time hearing that. Indigenous. But they're not necessarily indigenous. I call them American Indians. Because that's what I grew up calling them. I understand what you mean. But they say he's apologizing to the so-called indigenous populations for the Roman Catholic Church's role in the residential school system. And this is ancient history, kind of. From the 19th century until the 1970s, more than 150,000 indigenous children, they say, were taken from their homes, if they had homes, maybe their teepees. Were they taken from their teepees? I don't know. Did they have teepees up there, or igloos? Were they igloos? What a mess. I'm indigenous. I was born here. I'm native. I was born here. Taken from their quote-unquote homes, that's Twitter's word for it, and put into residential schools run by Christian churches. Sounds nice. Sounds nice. Trying to make them Christian and civilized and be able to function with the newcomers who are taking over. We're taking over. You're going to learn how to live with us. Let's teach ya. Right? Somebody called my show and told me about this issue. It's interesting. I don't think that it was so abusive that they're pretending that it was. I'm sure there were issues. The Canadian government admitted that the physical and sexual abuse was rampant at the schools. How rampant? I doubt it was very rampant. I doubt it. I doubt it. The Associated Press claims. Canadian government. Isn't so-called sexual abuse rampant in the public schools here in America? More so in the public schools than in the Catholic Church? You know how they did a smear job on the Catholic Church, including some of the guys, there were some media people whom I like, who were going after the Catholic Church and trying to get the word out. And you know, the Catholic Church, it's a big place. It's a big old establishment organization, and there is definitely corruption in any establishment organization, right? In the American establishment government, in the social media establishment, in the academia establishment, corruption anywhere you go, because people are evil. So I'm sure. Point Fire says, James, inform us about the 60 Canadian churches that have been burned/desecrated due to Trudeau's unverified claims. Wow. Was not familiar with that. I mean, I've heard different things, but I'm not up on those things. Light of the Twin Lamp says Catholic Church in the United States is base, though, denying Biden and Pelosi communion. I know, but that's kind of a low bar. That's like throwing around the word based all willy-nilly. I'm not one to do that, am I? I'm chuckling because I do that. Look at these photos, though, of this guy, Pope Francis, he's kissing the hand of one person, putting his nose all up against it. Oh. Ugh, wash your hand. That same hand, is that same hand that he's holding this? Is this a man or a woman's hand whom he's holding? Is that same hand with which the Pope slapped the woman? Remember, I hurt myself. He slapped the woman's hand as she was grabbing his cloak. Is that a man or a woman? Long-haired person. There's a chief Indian type of guy. And there's a somebody's standing here, and then there's the Pope. Here, you can disappear me for a second because I wanted you guys to see this whole picture. But look at that. Look at that. I mean, Jesus did wash some of the people's feet, right? His disciples' feet. He became a servant. He was humble. This Pope has washed feet. There was this white guy who was Dan Cathy. Didn't he try to wash the shoes of this black rapper, like Propaganda or Lecrae or something? This guy's kissing the hand. This feels like a photo op. It feels contrived. I'm leery about it. And there's another supposed Indian lady, almost as light-skinned as the Pope, by the way, who's Argentine, right? He's the Argentinian, a white Hispanic. Is the Pope a normal Christian? Is the Pope even Christian? And their Indian getup. I kind of like the Indian getup stuff. It's interesting. When I was a freshman in high school, there was this Indian girl whom I had a Spanish 1 with. You know, in high school, you're supposed to take a Spanish class. And she showed me pictures of her, Indian thing. And that's how you get monkeypox, says Big Bump. Terrible, terrible. Let's hope not. And I literally thought that she was just playing dress up. Because, their stuff seemed too, new. You know, their Indian getup. This one, I can't tell you if it looks too new or not. But it's the Christians with the Pope with the skull cap and the one guy behind him with that collar thing, a strange collar thing that signifies a supposed father or whatever they call them, the priest. And then the Indians dress up like Indians. You know, with the Indian headdress, this chief guy with the eagle. Are those eagle feathers coming out of his hat thing? I've always kind of liked that, I guess, you know? I remember watching Cowboys and Indians at my grandma's house on Sundays sometimes. I don't know if that was the name of the show, but they were going, and they would be carrying these things. But then you see them in real life, and they're dressed like this, and some of them are wearing suits. Like this guy right here, he's wearing suits. He's like a mixture of a American sort of uniform below, but he has the Indian headdress up above. But it just didn't seem real. I thought that she was just a regular Mexican girl, and she was, my friend or classmate. I just thought it was fake. So I almost laughed. And then I'm like, oh, you really are? You're Indian. Okay. That's nice. But they seem to have a lack of dignity anymore. At least the ones that I've seen that are in the public eye, they're establishment, trying to kick each other out of their they look mixed with whites, these people do. They're trying to kick each other out of their tribes to get more money and have fewer people to have to spread around the money. I've heard about this since childhood. Hey, give us your best Indian chant. I can't do that, man. Yes, but I learned that I thought that I learned that my grandpa had Indian blood by way of my dad, by way of a doctor. But anyway, that's the Pope apologizing for ancient history, like nobody's alive, or there are those people are old and alive, but the people the type of people who demand an apology or acknowledgement that you did something wrong, those are, in my opinion, unforgiving, female-minded, self-righteous, on an ego trip type of people. You know, And it seems like all the media is on board with that because they're female-minded, and the Pope and Lisa, who's our resident health expert over there on Facebook, says that Pope does seem to be the most humble among the recent ones. And I can understand that perception, and there may be some truth to that. I don't know. Hold on. But there is a pretense of humility that you see a lot. There's this pretense that, oh, I'm not perfect. I remember I was in chapel because I went to Azusa Pacific University, and the university school whatever he was, I don't know, chaplain? Yeah, he might have been the chaplain. I think his name was, who's that guy who beat Rihanna? Brown? What's his first name? Chris Brown. Yeah, this guy's name was Chris Brown too. He's like, I'm Chris Brown and I'm such and such, fill in the blank of some vice, right? That's not real humility. That's not what the Pope is doing. He's like kissing feet and kissing hands and washing feet and going among the people. But he's like socialist trained, and he speaks not quite clearly, it seems like. At least the translations, because he speaks in what? Latin and Argentinian, whatever Argentine people speak. I don't think it's Spanish, though, is it? Is it Spanish? Oh, my gosh. He speaks Spanish? Maybe he's speaking in Latin, because I can understand some Spanish. I feel like he's speaking something else. But he says stuff, he speaks very vaguely. And I don't think that's how Jesus spoke. Yeah, he did have some parables, but that's not vague. That's just, that's not speaking in like vague terms about right versus wrong. You know? Nowadays, the people who advocate for the Indians are a bunch of liberals, SJWs, in my opinion. That's what I've seen. So, in my opinion, this Pope is kind of lame and liberal, maybe even communist. Argentinians have a distinct accent. Oh, I know, I only understand shop talk, because I worked at a cabinet shop with a bunch of like Mexicans. One guy was maybe Honduran. So give us your best Argentinian. Do they speak with that lisp? Ugh. And meanwhile there's evil going on today. And so it seems contrived to be apologizing for something that is long over, in my opinion. People want reparations and all that stuff. I don't trust it, in my opinion. Speaking of abuse, let me show you this little thing. It's not much to show. I may play some Reality Winner in the next hour here. But first, let me cover this thing that's called Satanic Panic. This was also trending on far left publisher, not a platform, Twitter. Satanic Panic. I remember being in the 80s and maybe early 90s as a kid, learning about Satanism from these Fire by Night TV shows or home video things that were sent to our home. Maybe my mother subscribed to them, from Willie George Ministries, Gospel Bill and all that stuff. Anybody remember that? Anybody? And I learned a little bit about Mormons and others and Satanists. I don't mean to lump the Mormons in with the Satanists. But anyway, so there was this, people were overreacting to this thread. Let me first post this, read what this guy said. One guy, Rob Huelbeck _2. He wrote, he steps out of the shadows. He's saying that he's stepping out of the shadows to say, The quote-unquote Satanic Panic was largely justified, he says. Anybody remember that? We thought that they were sacrificing human beings, girls, women, killing them, drinking their blood. Satanists. And there were some like Satanists who admitted to like drinking blood and stuff. One guy was in prison after like committing murder, I thought. Satanic Panic was largely justified, and there actually was widespread abuse in the 80s, by the way. Just thought I'd share. I'll see you on the timeline, he wrote. And he said that he got blocked for blackpilling someone. He said there's lots of Stockholm Syndrome type responses because he got so many responses to this, right? One person, Wild Bill Wellman, says, this is idiotic. The Satanic Panic, quote unquote, diverted attention away from actual abuse like the Catholic Church, Boy Scouts, and even children actors. Remember child actors? There's a guy who committed suicide, who was like a co-star alongside another guy who had the same first name as him in Hollywood. And then Boy Scouts, we were letting in women, we were letting in the gays, not we, but the Boy Scouts were. I think they were founded by Congress, I thought, and the Catholic Church, highly publicized, notably not mentioned is public schools. Interesting. Diverted attention from actual abuse. The Satanic Panic diverted attention to fantasies of satanic cults in all secular education and daycare, and how Dungeons and Dragons and heavy metal were gateways to Satanism. So this guy says lots of Stockholm Syndrome type responses. I don't know what he means by that. At people who learned to love their gaslighting. Two main problems people have with accepting this stuff is the cases were massively overcharged. The media at the time focused on the most obviously absurd elements of the abuse, magic and the occult. And that's what the media does with like Q stuff and Trump stuff and all that stuff. They like highlight anything funny or that sounds funny that Trump may have said. Oh, put bleach in your body. So dishonest media, right? Very unchristian and anti-Christian media. Interesting. Another problem is out-group anxieties about the stupid suburban Christians. Yeah, good point, Rob. That sounds fair. He says, I'm not going to be linking court documents, etc., to the 1,500 people losing their minds in replies to this, but just read The Witch Hunt Narrative by Ross E. Chait. It's not a QAnon thing. He's a liberal professor at an Ivy League university. Interesting, huh? And I bet you there is evil all around. The culture was becoming corrupt. And so, yeah, there's going to be abuses here and there and everywhere. Evil against kids here and there and everywhere. So, I'm sure that there's truth to all of it. Hake's music is more satanic than most heavy metal. Yeah, and speaking of, children, leave the room. I'm serious. I am. Okay, because this is one of the things that they mentioned in the Satanic Panic thing, or in the poo-pooing of the Satanic Panic, was that most of the time it's supposed family members or friends or people you know or supposed respected members of the community they claim. And I also say not in-laws, step-parents. They also say, sometimes uncles or whatever. But step-parents, I've heard, oftentimes, that is a problem. Among, for kids. Or underage people, or whatever you want to call that. I don't want to get too explicit with that. But anyway, this song is a bit disturbing. That's why I did say kids leave the room. I like the sound of it. The instrumentation is so cool, in my opinion. It's called Niece's Pieces. And so, hey, may be a little disturbing. Here's more shiu, guys. Xiu, new word, Xiu. Ya musical Philistines, cover your ears, press mute, or grin and bear it. But, it's not the worst for the kids necessarily, but it's not exactly, it's a disturbing type of situation that he describes. And he's kind of being, remembering old wrongs, purported wrongs. Jamie Stewart of Shiu. Okay, guys, enjoy. Or not. Be right back.
Can't wait to watch you get older. I can't wait to make the first boy that breaks your life. I can't wait till you realize the family you've been born into. I can't wait to watch you turn from good to bad. I can't wait to tell you your grandpa made your mommy play stripper while your uncle watched.
Awful, huh?
I can't wait to tell you I punched your mommy in the chest in front of her new friends.
Kind of disturbing.
I can't wait till you realize your mommy's heart is broken.
Pretty song, though.
I can't wait to watch you grow up around the people who broke it.
This guy is misguided, in my opinion. That's the Pacific Ocean, by the way, we're looking at. Hake, you paid money for this? Indeed I did. Indeed I did. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful but messed up music. Wagner is rolling in his grave, says Kevin Howe. Gosh, if Hake weren't so wholesome. Yeah. I see the Loch Ness Monster. I heard that guy admitted on his deathbed that he made that up. The guy who took that Loch Ness photo. That's what I heard. But, yeah, shiu. Making me miss Frog Eyes, says Carver531. Oh, shall I bring Frog Eyes back? My goodness. Some super chats, guys. Some super chats. I think. Yeah. This guy's kind of, the guy who you just heard, in my mind, kind of female-minded, female-oriented, man-hating, grudge-holding, and I wonder if that would have done his niece any good to be saying that mess to his niece about her grandpa. What a mess, huh? If you understood the lyrics. Sorry, kids and parents, I guess. Some supers, though. Super chats over here. From streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Light of the Twin Lamps. Hey, Hake, please cover D.A. Gascon and his early release of Andres Cachu. Andres Cachu. I had not heard of that. Andres Cachu, free decades early by woke reforms, arrested again, according to a report last week. What was it, Friday? In the New York Post, of all places. New York Post can be hit and miss. In that editorial board thing, they were quite a miss. But this is a report by Lee Brown. I don't know who Andres Cachu is, but he has quite the neck tattoos. Let me see if I can share a screenshot of this. Convicted of shooting a man in the back as gang members held him down. Held the man down, the victim down, or held him down? Like gang members, because that sounds kind of heroic. Gang members were holding Andres Cachu down, and he shot somebody in the back as he was being held down? Or was the guy being held down and Andres shot him down? Okay, here's the story. Let me pass this on to you. You're getting your wish. Light of the, whatever you said your name is. Shut up. I'll reread your name. Don't want to be disrespectful. Okay, screenshot is copying. It'll take a minute, but a California murderer who was freed under woke reforms. Come on, you're a journalist. Don't use that word. The heck? The Hake. Just 5 years into his sentence of 50 years to life, has been busted again, accused of leading cops on a car chase while high on drugs and carrying a gun, according to prosecutors who'd helped get him free. Andres Cachu was a 17-year-old gang banger. Is that a journalistic term? In 2015, when he gunned down Luis Amela, age 41. That's my age now, anyway. During a robbery in Los Angeles, according to court documents obtained by Fox News. Okay, I brought the screenshot into the main folder there in Monday's folder. It's called Screenshot. Has a picture of this guy. He has his eyes closed. Does he have a teardrop next to his eye? That means he killed somebody, right? He was tried as an adult as a 17-year-old. Oh, you know who else was 17? Trayvon Martin. Oh, he was just a kid. Kids can kill. Guess what? Anyway, he was tried as an adult and in 2016 sentenced to 50 years to life in prison. Here's the picture of this guy. Wow. Rough-looking guy, I guess, right? Or at least he puts on a good front or something. That same year, 2016, California introduced Proposition 57, a sweeping so-called criminal justice reform that barred prosecutors from trying juveniles as adults without a judge's approval and allowed those who had been to seek more lenient sentences. Andres Cachu, sought a new sentence last year after the appointment of a divisive progressive LA County DA, George Gascon, endorsed by Black Lives Matter and supported heavily with millions of dollars by George Soros and the Netflix CEO and the Netflix CEO's philanthropist wife woman. And Gascon stated his opposition to trying juveniles as adults. His case was handled by Elisa Blair, former public defender hired by Gascon, who has hailed her as an ally in the movement for criminal justice reform. And Trump did some of this so-called criminal justice reform or something like that. Not a good thing. This Elisa Blair did not ask for a court hearing to try to keep Cachu in prison, and he was released last year. He's now 25 years old, busted again Tuesday night after sheriff's deputies found him slumped over his steering wheel of a parked vehicle. The officers awakened the freed murderer by tapping on his window, noting he appeared to be under the influence of a controlled substance, allegedly had a firearm in his waistband. Cachu fled, driving the wrong way on a freeway before crashing. And by the way, I don't think that this guy is a normal white person. I think he might be Hispanic. I'm not sure. Looks sort of Hispanic to me. Maybe one of those Hispanic gangs. It's my guess. Don't think he's black, by the way. He was obviously under the influence. They found many drugs. Deputies found many drugs in the vehicle, hit with 11 charges. Felony fleeing in pursuit of a peace officer's motor vehicle. Driving against traffic. Possession of a firearm by a felon, and possession of a controlled substance with a firearm. What a guy, huh? That's a Mexican, says Trailer Park Brett. What's up, man? So, Gascon's office confirmed the controversial release, saying, "We are disappointed to learn that Mr. Cachu has not availed himself of the support that he so clearly needs. We're frustrated to see that he is struggling." Be quiet, mama. You guys are playing mama with pretty hard criminals. Duh, he's not white, Hake. I don't know, he's a white Hispanic. That's what they're called, according to the FBI, white Hispanics. Crazy. It's not the first time someone released under Prop 57. So the dumb voters voted for this, by the way. Prop 57. Busted again earlier this year, Victor Bibiano, 30-year-old male, convicted of murder in an adult court as a teen, was arrested over a deadly shooting of a homeless man. Jonathan Hatami, deputy LA DA, supported efforts to get Gascon recalled, said the DA's 18-month social experiment has been an abysmal failure. We in Los Angeles are less safe. Many innocent Angelenos have suffered. Yeah, what a shame. That Elisa Blair woman, or Alyssa Blair, 1S, leaving her position at the end of the month. Crazy. Well, thank you for the tip on that light of the twin lamps. Thank you for the support as well. The super chat there. And another super chat from Odyssey, Odyssee, and then I will get back to calls, guys. You can call in. But, on Odyssey, the Reverend Chad Kroger at Forget You. Only it doesn't say forget you. What's the idea, Reverend Chad Kroger? This is my wife. Am I pronouncing it correctly? My wife has developed pox sores around her around her old lady parts. Should I be concerned? Yes, refrain. Reverend Chad Kroger. Oh, my goodness. If true, that's not good. By the way, the Reverend Chad Kroger at Forget You says, and don't repeat that, kids. No proof of dead Indians in the graveyards. Pope is a commie. And he says not morally straight either. You know, the Boy Scouts at one point, they were supposed to be about being morally straight. And that's where I get the term morally straight. Be morally straight. But he says that the Pope is not. And he doesn't seem to be, like JLP had pointed out, the Pope is ticked. He has anger. slapping, losing patience with the lady who wanted to touch his cloak and get his, whatever. So, thank you, Reverend Chad Kroger. I wish you and your wife well. Be careful. It's an evil world. And so too can the wife be. Oh, man. I'm shaking my head. Anyway, let me get to a call or two, guys. You can call in 888-775-3773. Keith in Illinois on hold. Been on hold for some time. Keith, how are you doing?
All right, hey, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, I have a few things. I'm on, run through. I know other people want to get online. I just want to show you how, corrupt and satanic the, liberal media, how they are.
Yeah. Are you on a speakerphone? You're coming in just a touch rough for my taste.
No.
Okay, just stay close to the phone. Yeah, I think we can work with it.
Okay, good. Anyway, I was watching, it was ABC, affiliate of ABC News in Boston.
Oh.
It was a group, and they was protesting Drag Queen Story Hour.
Oh. And was this, was it in Boston, or the ABC affiliate was covering it because I saw a protest in California, took place in California with some Proud Boys, and even one guy I recognized, I felt like I might have recognized him. Shout out, guy. But anyway, was it in California, or do you know where the protest took place?
No, it was definitely in Boston because I looked it back up. I have it. Yeah.
Okay.
And the name of the group is like NCIS. It's like a national association group.
Okay.
And they was protesting, Drag Queen Story Hour. I mean, something today. I mean, most people probably feel passionate about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The media labeled them neo-Nazis and white supremacists. And that's not even, remember, that's not even who they are. That's not even who they represent, but that's what the media is going to label them as.
Yeah.
This is getting out of hand, man, because that's not the name of the group. And I mean, and they was just protesting Drag Queen Story Hour. That's all they was doing. That was it. And it's this liberal media, man, they're so evil, so satanic, so wicked, man, and so just deceitful. So, it's just unbelievable, it's in your face. They're not trying to even hide it now. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
And I told you, last time I called you, I told you they're going to have all kind of movies to keep black people on the plantation. You got a King and Queen. We just talked about that one. Now
what did you just say?
We talked about the movies they was going to make right before the election.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The King Queen, what? What was the first?
We talked about it like some movie where the Queen of Kings, they was in Africa and the white man come over there and,
Are you talking about The Woman King?
Yeah.
It's a 2022 historical drama with Viola Davis.
Yeah, that's the one, right, that's the one.
Yeah, I saw that on TKR Official's Telegram. I saw the trailer for it. He might have described it as a bunch of ugly black ladies, and he might not have said ladies. He might have said women or something. And it also has that lady who played 007 or something like that, the new 007. Yeah. But yeah, and they are killing a bunch of white men or beating them up or something.
Okay, so that's to keep them on the planet. Now they got a movie, Black Panther's coming out again.
Oh, no. But that guy died. But then they, how they get the spinning off, Now we got a movie called Teal, after Emmett Till. I told you they was going to load up TV, media seminar with all these, keep them on the plantation, angry black movies. I told you now we got even a movie called Teal, named after Emmett Till. Oh,
they're just going to keep them rolling until election time.
Oh, my goodness, you're right. Till, 2022 drama. The true story of Mammy Till-Mobley's relentless pursuit of justice. Right. See, this reminds me of the American Indian or Canadian Indian victimhood thing and all that stuff. They just hold a grudge.
So that's not going to be the last one. They just don't, and if won't nobody go to the theater and see it and pay, they just put it on, you can get it on Netflix, you can get it on, what's that called? All all the pluses, BET
Right.
and Disney. If you don't go to the theater and sit, they'll give it away free, even free on TNT. They'll make sure they're free so to keep these blacks and keep on the plantation worshiping. What I said, why do y'all vote for y'all only man? These are people that kept you in slavery, the people that still got you in slavery, people keep you in bondage, no jobs, no education, no knowledge, no nothing, and they still vote for them. That amazes me.
Yeah, not good.
Okay. So one more thing, did you see the one about they were trying to recruit people for the army? You see that one?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that a few months ago. You're talking about the cartoon one with the female.
No. I'm talking about this one is real.
Okay.
That people that try, they're trying to recruit people for the army. Now I'm talking about United States Army.
Okay.
25% of them are too obese. Okay. Another 25% of them have drugs or they have criminal records. So I'm just trying to show you that it's a national security. We don't even have men to defend our country anymore because they don't. You know what I'm saying? They have demoralized and feminized the men so much that we don't even have men. You know what I mean? To defend our country. I mean, it's getting bad.
Yeah. Wow, what a shame.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's the liberal Democrats, you know what I'm saying? They, that's what they do. But that's all I wanted to say. Thanks a lot. And now, next time I call you, now we got 3 so far. I'm guaranteed it's going to be 6 or 7.
Black movies?
Victimhood movies by the time November comes around. So we on 3 now. I'll call you back when I get another one.
Sounds good, Keith. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the tips.
All right, then. Y'all take care, man.
All right, you as well. Bye. He mentioned another Black Panther movie, and it's literally called Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 2022. Did you know that I watched the 2018 one? I think I might have watched it with Joel Friday, no longer here. Shout out to Joel Friday. But yeah, that guy Patrick Boseman, or was that his name? He died at a relatively young age, in his 40s, I think. He seemed like a nice guy, too. But Wakanda Forever. Isn't that like a meme? Isn't that like a joke by now? This fictional black place. Rest in peace, Wakanda. What a shame. And then Till. The true story of Mammy Till's relentless pursuit of justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, brutally lynched in 1955. So they call it lynched for some reason. Lynched usually means public execution without due process. But this was not public. It was done in secret. Like, nobody actually knows for sure who done it, I don't think. Unless it was really the father or the husband and whoever, uncle or brother-in-law or whatever. Till. So that's out October 14th, directed by Chinonye Chukwu. Produced by Whoopi Goldberg, Keith Beauchamp, Barbara Broccoli. What? Frederick Zolo, Thomas Levine, Michael O'Reilly. And I've heard, some of you guys have tagged me, that guy allegedly said something like, don't worry, I've blinked white women before. Very vulgar, maybe even grabbed her. Not that that's a reason to do that necessarily. I don't know. Like, they might have tortured and brutalized him and killed him. Who knows who did it, though? Where's the tongue click? Hake? Yeah. So that one is a victimhood. The Woman King, that's not necessarily... Well, it's kind of victimhood, because they're against the colonizers. Anyway. And then Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I don't know if that's victimhood or not, but it is into the black thing. And he mentioned every branch of the military is struggling to make its 2022 recruiting goals. Record low number of Americans eligible to even serve, and few of those willing to do it. This is the year we question the sustainability of the all-volunteer force, said an expert, according to NBC News. Reported June 22nd by Courtney Kube and Molly Boygon. Every branch of the military struggling to meet its fiscal year 2022 recruiting goals. The pool of those eligible to join the military continues to shrink. More young men and women than ever disqualified for obesity, drug use, or criminal records. Wow. Yeah, I remember noticing when I had my co-hosts, the younger millennials and younger than that, even this quote-unquote good kids are on the doing all this drugs stuff. Shameful. Let me get to Josh in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the line. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hake, how are you?
I'm fine, too. Thank you.
So I was reading the Bible yesterday, and I believe it was in Timothy 2:9, where he said women should wear suitable clothes. They should wear, respectful and modest clothes without jewelry, without braids. And then I was like, what? Braids aren't modest?
Oh.
Why aren't they modest?
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Man, you said 2 Timothy what?
1 Timothy 2:9.
Let's see here. Let's investigate, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's see. King James Version, English Standard Version.
I did.
Okay,
women
women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire. I desire that in every place that the men should pray, lifting holy hands without anger or quarreling. Hey! Isn't that a great line? Likewise, that women should adorn themselves, blah, 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 but with what is proper for women who profess godliness with good works. I don't know what type of braids they did. I don't know. That is sort of, maybe back in those times, it might have been showy. I don't know. It shows vanity. Duh. That's what Frankie BLM says. Hey, thank you. You got my back, Frankie BLM. Matthew. The NIV translated the thought to this. Listen to this. I also want the women to dress modestly with decency and propriety, adorning themselves not with elaborate hairstyles or gold or pearls or expensive clothes. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. In the King James Version, the one true version,
I
right?
understand that.
King James
I
Version.
understand why they don't want us to wear jewelry and all that. I understand that. But the braids is the one that confuses me.
Right. Let's see. KJV. I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. Interesting. In like manner also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair, which is braided hair, I guess, or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becomes women professing godliness with good works. Oh, okay, so do good, let that be your beauty. I don't know, whatever. But he says, do not let a woman teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. So I don't know if this is like a hard and fast rule, or his advice at the time, because times were different. I don't know if it changes with time. Modesty, no such thing nowadays, Hake. I don't know. Boy. I couldn't tell you. But I do respect Paul. Unlike some people, I respect Paul. Paul wrote this to Timothy, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go crazy with it. I don't think.
Yeah, don't Bible thump it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I couldn't say.
All right. Thank you very much for taking my call, Hake.
Yeah. What would you say? How would you say about it? Or would you?
Well, I agree with everything that's in the Bible.
Okay, so you agree, even though that you don't understand it, you would say, "Hey, women, don't."
I understand it.
So you wouldn't let women wear pearls or braids? Is that what you mean?
Well, Well, what do you mean by not letting them? Like not letting my significant other not wear them?
Yeah, your wife or girlfriend or daughter or something like that.
Well, I would certainly say that I'm a Christian, and in Christianity they do not like braids. And if she doesn't respect that, then okay, I can find somebody else. But if she does respect that and she, still has braids, I would tell her, okay, you can still have these braids. But I'm telling you this right now.
When did you come?
This is not in Christianity.
But it is. It's accepted in. I don't know. What it may not mean what you think. What you're thinking that it means, though.
Do you think it's just discouraged? It's not like a sin?
It's not saying that this is. It doesn't say that this is a sin. But when did you hear about this?
Well, in the Bible when I read it.
No, but when?
Yesterday.
Oh, so just yesterday you heard this, and so now you're gonna take a hard line against any woman that you date?
I say yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I just discovered it until now. I mean, I didn't realize that was a value until just now. So yeah, I'm gonna take that.
Huh. Interesting. Are you sure you know what it means?
Am I sure I know what it means? Well, yeah. It's
what
pretty
does it
clear.
mean?
For women not to have braids and dress modestly?
It means women should not have braids. Is that what you think that's what it means?
No. What that's basically what the text is saying. That women should not have braids or jewelry. They should dress modestly. That's what the text is saying.
Right. So you think that it means that they shouldn't. You think that it means what you think it means.
Not what I think it means. Not I know what it means.
So you know that he would today, that Paul would today, to this day, and inspired by God to this day, would ban women from wearing braids.
You think Paul will do that?
I'm asking you.
Oh, would Paul do that? Ban it completely?
Like,
I think
would God have you do this?
Oh, would God have you do it? No. That's a no for me.
Oh, okay. But you would ban your girlfriend. No braids, or I'm moving on. And God would have you do that?
Well, yeah.
Man, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. I don't know. Okay, so I think I understand. So now that you've read this, you're gonna ban any woman whom you date from wearing braids, or else you're not gonna date her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna date women with braids. Correct. Yeah.
When did you become a Christian?
I became a Christian. Well, I became a born again Christian 3 years ago.
Okay. What were you before?
I was a Catholic.
Okay.
And I assume you and me have the same experience?
No, I was never Catholic.
Oh, really?
No, I've been a Christian all my life, quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was a normal.
I'm just now beginning this.
Yeah, I was a normal Christian, not a Catholic.
Oh, okay. A normal Christian. Okay.
Right. Catholics are not normal in America. We've had
really?
Yeah. Catholics and Anglican Church. We started as a Protestant, a normal Christian country.
Supposedly our so-called president now is a Catholic.
I know, and look how much of a mess he is. What a shame.
You know, I thought Catholics didn't believe in birth control, let alone abortion.
Right. They don't. They're not supposed to anyway.
Yeah.
That's
so
interesting,
man. What do you think about it?
What do I think about it? He's not a Christian at all. He's a phony.
No, I'm talking about the text.
I think just what I said, that I have no set opinion on it.
Oh, so you don't understand it? You don't have a set opinion about it, so you're just going to leave it as that?
Yeah, I don't have any opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ban my girlfriend from having braids. I don't know what he means by that, what Paul meant by it, so I'm not going to assume. And
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. Yeah, I'm not against that.
Yeah. But interesting, man. I appreciate your call, Josh.
All right,
how old are you?
much,
if you don't, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 17.
Oh, really? So you
Yeah.
became a born again Christian at 14?
No.
15? You said 3 years.
Wow, I'm terrible at math. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
No problem, man. Are you a groiper?
What is that?
Oh, okay, never mind. I mean, if you were a groiper, you would still be Catholic most of the time. I like groipers and I like Catholics, by the way. I just say that it's not normal because in America we've been leery of Catholics, and sometimes the Catholics have been letting in the illegals and not good on. The only thing they're good on is the abortion issue. But anyway, not to be bashing the Catholics. I love the Catholics.
Right.
So if your family's Catholic, I appreciate them. Especially if they're decent, conservative, Christian Catholics.
Right.
But anyway, man, it's nice to hear from you. Call me again sometime, Josh.
All right. Thank you very much, Hake.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Pretty mature guy, huh? Man, very interesting. Okay, before I get back to calls, hang tight, callers. I have to share with you some... I'm chuckling, but this is not a funny story. This is another suicide from the January 6th fallout. And I don't know if it's from that specifically, or if he just committed suicide and it didn't have much to do with it or anything to do with it. But there was a guy who committed suicide already once, one of them. And here's another guy, another white man, I think, who committed suicide. I got this on, I saw this on TKR Official on Telegram, sharing an article from National File. Another nonviolent J6 defendant commits suicide after federal parading conviction. And there you can see a couple of photos of this. Seems like an okay white man, heavy set a little bit, beard. Seems like he might be a solid guy. It's hard to tell from a photograph, right? You don't know. But Pennsylvanian Mark Aungst, A-U-N-G-S-T, took his own life ahead of sentencing on DOJ, Department of So-Called Justice. Total misnomer. They're not about justice. Parading charges. So he walked in there and paraded around. That means he mulled around. And I think his girlfriend or somebody took video and shared it on social media. Dumb woman. I'm not picturing hitting a woman, so don't get crazy. The Epic Times, I saw this from the Epic Times too. January 6th defendant dies by suicide while awaiting sentencing. A Pennsylvania man awaiting sentencing for illegally entering the U.S. Capitol, January 6th, 2021, died July 20th. Last week. Middle of the week. Couldn't get over that hump. Is that Wednesday? A Pennsylvania man awaiting sentencing. Death of Mark R. Aungst, 47, of South Williamsport. The death was ruled a suicide by Coroner Charles E. Kiesling, Jr., per Penn Live. A gas field well service technician by trade. Wow. Aungst is survived by his mother, a daughter, and 3 siblings. No wife, no widow. On January 6, 2021, Aungst, I fear I'm butchering his name, A-U-N-G-S-T, traveled by bus to Washington, D.C., to attend our greatest president, Donald J. Trump's Stop the Steal rally. Trump said, "We'll be wild." He and a companion, co-defendant, Tammy A. Bronsberg, B-U-R-G, joined other people in the march to the Capitol. In court, prosecution prevented evidence of Aungst and Bronsberg entering the Capitol at 2:45 p.m. leaving 30 seconds afterwards. So, okay. After 23 minutes, the duo once more entered the building, taking images and videos on their cell phones as they walked around the place and entered the Senate Room 145. Braunsberg then posted video she took while inside the Capitol on her Facebook account. Oh, don't do that. I think that's what got them in trouble. Women. Attention-seeking women. Don't go in the Capitol and don't... But, I mean, people aren't street smart nowadays, so to speak, you know, and they don't know not to post it on social media, and they didn't know what they were doing wrong. After 23 minutes, people are still in there. Oh, let's go in. People were still in. I don't know if they saw police waving people in, but ridiculous, in my opinion. Ridiculous, the charges against these people. They were charged with 4 counts: a misdemeanor charge of parading or demonstrating inside a restricted building, disorderly conduct in a restricted building, entering and remaining in a restricted building, and disorderly conduct in a Capitol building. So dumb. They pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor charge. The other 3 counts were to be dismissed at the time of sentencing. And his sentencing was scheduled for September 27th. Could have faced 6 months in prison and $5,000 in fines. I doubt that he would get that much, but who knows? They may have tried to throw the book at him. Both free on personal recognizance. Neither of them had attacked any police officer or damaged government property while inside the Capitol, by the way, prosecutors even admitted. What's the national file say? Because who is the name of the other guy who committed suicide? 47-year-old Mark Ungst was the guy who died, killed himself last week, apparently, according to this report. I wonder how he did himself in. Sorry, kids. But it's shameful. You know, he had a daughter, right? So I wonder if there were problems with the daughter's mother or not. On Wednesday, July 20th, he was found dead. Suicide. At least the second January 6th defendant to kill himself. He's a skilled tradesman, worked at a gas field well service technician. What was the name? Did they name the other guy? Perna. Matthew Perna is the other guy. National File reported nonviolent January 6th demonstrator Matthew Perna committed suicide earlier this year after pleading guilty to obstruction of Congress and 3 misdemeanors associated with trespassing on Capitol grounds. Was informed the DOJ would pursue additional charges against him despite his existing guilty plea. He took his own life. And I don't know if it was over the stress of all this stuff or whether it was something else. They found him the other day as they informed him the other day they were pursuing other charges. He couldn't take another day, prompting his suicide, so his family said at the time. Some say suicide, quote unquote. As in they doubt that it may really have been a suicide. But you know, there's a lot of people doing that stuff. There's not a lot of hope or love in the world, right? And families messed up. A lot of times fathers they're distraught over the loss of their children or inability to be in the lives of their children or whatever. And they've killed themselves over that. They're not prepared well mentally and spiritually to handle war and battle and all that stuff. The evil of the world gets into them and they kill themselves sometimes, with the PTSD type stuff. So it's a big mess. And there's, the people who are pretending to help, the national suicide hotlines. I'm not planning on calling that to find out what they say, but I don't have high hopes, let's say, right? It's ridiculous. And by the way, speaking of the January 6th thing, Liz Cheney is going after Ginny Thomas. Choose your fighter, right? Give me a break. The Epoch Times says, Representative Liz Cheney says the January 6th committee is fully prepared to subpoena Ginny Thomas. That's the wife, the white wife of the based black Supreme Court justice, one true justices, Justice Clarence Thomas. His wife, Ginny Thomas, has interviewed Jesse Lee Peterson a number of times over the years. A solid lady, if there ever was one, I would say. Loves the country. Liz Cheney's the RINO from Wyoming, daughter to Dick Cheney, former vice president under W. Obama. And she is an evil anti-Trump person, just like the other RINO who's on the phony J6 committee. She said that they could subpoena her because she texted a couple of people, Mark Meadows and somebody else. The committee is engaged with her counsel. We certainly hope she will agree to come voluntarily. She was Liz Cheney talking to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. Ridiculous. So that's a mess. I think I'm going to have to postpone my reality winner coverage for tomorrow, guys. But first, a super chat. Before I get to calls, a super chat from Light of the Twin Lamps over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. The Woman King movie, starring Viola Davis, is in actuality historical revisionist. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That sounds like a safe statement to make. I would assume that. The kingdom she leads in the movie is the one that enslaved neighboring tribes and sold prisoners of war to Europeans in exchange for guns and other goods. Whoa! Isn't that interesting? And by the way, there was a little tip over there on my Subscribe Star that I wanted to share with you guys. With lower back issues, one of my supporters says, I would be careful with sit-ups, but doing pull-ups and push-ups have at least helped my back quite a bit. And just hanging on the pull-up bar gives the back a good stretch. Well, thank you. Thank you, supporter on subscribestar.com/The Hake Report. Let me get to William in California. He's on the line. William, happy White History Month. How are you doing?
Happy White History Month to you.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go with Carroll Shelby.
All right.
The man. Carroll Shelby, man. He's the one that beat Ferrari.
2 L's. Carrol. Mr. Carroll Shelby. He beat Ferrari, huh?
The AC Cobra, yeah. He's got that. That's the car. The most popular car in the world almost here. That's the AC Cobra.
Nice. The Ford Cobra, right? And
that's right.
And the Mustang. He was best known for his involvement in those two.
Ford had a contract with him to bang out a few Cheryl Kelby version Mustangs, back in the 60s.
Wow. Right on.
Yeah. Very popular guy.
Yeah.
And White History Month.
Nice. Yeah, he died in 2012, born 1923 to 2012, age 89.
Yeah.
A Texas man, by the way.
Go look at the movie. You can kind of understand him a little bit, because
is the which movie?
Ford versus Ferrari.
Okay, so he's the guy. Who's the man behind that, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Ferrari always dominated that, but we came in with the GT50. What is it? The GT40. Also the Cobra. We just came in. He came in and put the Americans on the map and said, "Hey, we can do this just as good as anybody."
Wow. Which actor in Ford versus Ferrari did he play? Played him? Tried to play him.
Depicted him?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yep.
I forget. I think you can see that movie very easily, though, if you have a Fire Stick or cable or Showtime or whatever. It's not hard.
Right.
Yeah, I recommend everybody to look at it. It's actually
Matt Damon.
Extremely important American history.
Matt Damon played as Carroll Shelby.
Okay, Matt Damon. Okay.
And Christian
Couldn't have
Bale
been
was
that bad.
Christian Bale was Ken Miles. And
Ken Miles. Yeah, Ken Miles was the test driver
okay.
who got killed.
Wow.
And he was testing it may have been a GT40, because I think they've actually brought that car back, replica of that car back. You could buy one, I think, for like about 100 and probably 190,000. You can probably get one. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for the tip. That's a great white history moment. And
white history moment. That's right.
He was probably a better man than Matt Damon.
Yeah. This thing about the braids was quite shocking.
Yeah.
To hear that from somebody so young.
Right. But, one thing I do respect about young guys, even if I don't know if he's right or wrong in that, I think he may be a little overboard, but I don't know.
Could be. But at least he's speaking up for what he believes.
Yeah, and I respect that there's a lot of young men who are getting serious about being Christians, which is cool to see.
They're searching.
Yeah. And the closer to the real kind too, like conservative, not a bunch of liberal phony Christians. There are a bunch of there's like masses and masses of liberal phony Christians.
There's different levels, because I'm actually a Catholic myself.
Oh, really?
And and did the schools and everything. But the thing I would have to say is back then, I would think they were more Christian than what you have going now.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I mean, I just at that moment, just looking at all of the news stories with the black women on how they're acting.
Yeah.
You got Stacey Abrams, the local gorilla from Georgia.
Whoa.
Defunding. Yeah, she's a gorilla. Somebody needs to get her a banana. But the thing is she's head of the defunding the police organization. She's like on the board. And see, that's a slap
Stacey
in the face.
Abrams.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams. Yeah, that's a slap in the face to the black community, because it's like safety for me, but not for others.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Corey Bush?
Another black lady.
She's doing the same thing. She's getting all this high-powered, high-priced security teams, but she's advocating to tear up the communities, white and black, and have no actual police officers around to respond, because they're just like there's like a war on men and police officers. And I have been seeing some police officers getting sick of it and standing up and, telling these people, yeah, right, I arrested you because you're black, huh? Really? In this climate, in this day and time, I really arrested you?
Give me a break.
So, they're getting called out.
A week from today, Men's History Month is the first day of Men's History Month. Next Monday, I believe.
I hope they're not as quiet as they've been, because they actually been very, very quiet about White History Month this year. Last year, we had a really good time with it.
Nice.
And I'm just kind of noticing there's not as many people calling in and acknowledging White History Month, because last year we had a very good time with it.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm just looking at how not as many people has called in about it.
Well, don't be distraught about it, because young men, young white men, and older white men are standing up. There's just a few.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so, because I don't think we will have. James, I really don't believe we're going to have a civil war. But
no, I don't believe so either.
If we did, the blacks would get beaten very badly.
It's a spiritual civil war going on right now.
There's a spiritual civil war.
Yeah.
But, and I think that they're getting beat. The blacks are getting beat down in that department as well. The spiritual part.
Yeah, they're not doing well. I appreciate it, William.
Well. Yeah. You guys take it easy.
All right.
Stay cool.
All right. You as well.
All right.
Take care. Man. Yeah, I think I knew that William was Catholic. Beta Leg says, I love White History Month. Can't wait for Men's History Month. When's Asian History Month? Oh, come on, man. The Asians are taking over the world. Callers, I cannot get to you. Justin in Fullerton, California wanted to comment on the CDC's monkeypox comments. And I really wanted to get to you, man. Call me tomorrow if you can. But I am hard and fast on my ending, like no more new calls at 10:55, so I can have time to like wrap up the show, right? Tomorrow morning, I do hope to cover this reality winner woman, the leaker. I have some, to me, it's a little bit funny. She has this, just like, that's my sound effect for like bulky, thick neck, huge. What are these things called? That go from your chest? I mean, not your. This is called your shoulder. That goes from your shoulder to your neck. It's like she's built. And then I saw her on a 60 Minutes clip. She's like walking like this. That's my sound effect for that. And she is just has pink hair, a little pink in her hair at least. Doesn't seem totally necessarily morally straight. But she's like what's that those people who get made fun of? CrossFit. She's a CrossFit coach, and she looks like one. She walks like one, like walking all the way sideways, because she is a woman still. Traps, is that what they're called? I heard traps are, is it true that traps are gay? Maybe it's a different thing. She's like, her neck is like that. Like as thick as her head. Anyway, she was a misguided Trump hater, basically. So anyway, I do hope to get to that tomorrow. I don't know if I would get a strike for playing CBS clips, 60 Minutes. I don't know. But anyway, guys, this has been the Hake Report. I totally appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Gotta end on time so I can keep it under the 2 hours, and then I can... Did you know that I think I am uploading to Gab TV, or one of my interns? I have multiple. Maybe uploading to Gab TV. Cool, huh? I'm also on other platforms. But thank you, guys. I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Make sure you catch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson. It was excellent. Oh, as always, rebuildingtheman.com/church. The silent prayer is there. You can find the info to read that, or download it, or whatever, or listen to it. But yeah, thank you guys, and take care.